Thanks, Maria. I am very happy to be here and be able to talk to you for a few moments about NumFOCUS, and hopefully you will be able to have a better understanding of the work we're doing to support this incredible community. I'm Leah Silen. I'm the Executive Director of NumFOCUS, and I am very humbled to be able to work with the incredible people behind the projects and in this community that I have grown to love over the last 4.5 years. NumFOCUS was started by a group of individuals who, like any wonderful thing that is coming to be, started in discussion at conferences and also of our mailing list. So in 2010, the open source scientific community had reached a critical point. They were in need of a more formal structure to help support the projects and to also help organize the community. There was, at that time, in 2011, Fernando Perez gave a keynote at a Euro SciPy event, and he explained that the entire Python scientific stack at that point was essentially relying on the free work of 30 individuals. And at the same time, there was no funding, and the projects were being used at that time by, definitely on the academic level, but also by beginning to be used by industry at a greater rate each and every day. So this was a critical time. What were they going to do? So on that mailing list and in those discussions, it was decided that NumFOCUS would be created. They were trying to figure out what name to call it, and I think Anthony Skopats actually was the one that came up. Is that correct? Was one of the ones that had input on the name for the organization. So by 2011, the end of 2011, a board was put together, and these are the founding board members. Travis Oliphant, who was the author of NumPy and the founding contributor to the SciPy package. Fernando Perez, IPython at the time. Jupyter was in its infancy, or perhaps not even born at that point. John Hunter from Matplotlib. Perry Greenfield at the Space Telescope Science Institute, who was a key figure in numerous projects at the time. Jared Millman, who was working at Berkeley with Fernando, and Anthony Skopats, who you just heard from, who was at University of Chicago at that time. I had the distinct pleasure of being introduced to this community and being interviewed by Travis, John, and Perry. And it was I think at the time I would have been a little bit more humbled or maybe more nervous at that interview process if I had known the impact on so many that these individuals had created and were responsible for. So the original vision was to support the open source scientific computing. And how was that going to be done? What was needed? So over the next year, there were many discussions on that, how to best meet the needs of the projects, and funding was a huge concern. IPython at the time was wanting to apply for some grants and had the possibility of Microsoft providing some funding for them. And this was a project. This was a problem for the projects. How was this funding going to happen? How was it going to? What if the projects were given a grant? Fernando could not put this in his personal bank account. There was no legal entity to be able to not only take in that money, but to also guarantee that the money was going to be spent in a way that followed the mission of NumFOCUS, but also the mission that it would support the project. So at that point, 2014, IPython came on as the first fiscally sponsored project of NumFOCUS. So the fiscal sponsorship program was born. There was a lot of discussion on the best way to set this up and how it could best serve the projects. By the end of 2014, 5 additional projects had come on board. And as you can see, these are not all based on Python. From the very beginning, the founding board members wanted to make sure that this would be open source scientific computing. It would not just represent the Python tools, but that it would be open to all tools. As of today, we have 18, and I think we're missing one logo, waiting for one more fiscal sponsorship agreement to be signed. 18 projects that we now fiscally sponsor. And our fiscal sponsorship, besides just being a legal entity, we handle all the financial admin that these projects need. And you would think that might not be a lot, but let me tell you, it is a lot of work. Our staff is very, very busy trying to keep up with the need that this creates, handling accounts, invoicing, making sure anytime there's a hackathon, anytime projects are getting together, making sure all that's coordinated. Trying to work on sustainability for the projects, making sure research is kept reproducible. There's a lot of work that goes into this, and I'm just thrilled that we have so many wonderful projects under our umbrella at this time. So at the same time our fiscal sponsorship program was being worked on, there was also the issue of not only supporting the projects, but supporting the community. So there was a little organization or conference that was formed called PyData. First of all, Travis Oliphant, Peter Wang, and Julie Steele organized a workshop for 40 people that took place in Mountain View at Google. And they got to go together, talked about the Python scientific stack and what the needs were at that time. Continuum, because at the same time Travis and Peter had founded Continuum Analytics, decided that they would continue this on a larger scale and had our first event in New York, late 2012. And because Continuum had donated office space for NumFOCUS, which at that time was just myself, I helped out with that event. And during the event, seeing the community that it brought together, it was decided that PyData should become a NumFOCUS event. And from then on, it's what you see today has happened. We've had PyData events in 13 cities. This event today is our 24th event in 3.5 years. So we've been very busy. It has created an incredible community that has supported the projects through educating, being able people to share knowledge about how the projects are being used, but perhaps just as importantly, creating a network where people can reach out to each other, share their knowledge, be able to exchange how the projects are being used both in the academic realm and also for industry. So it's created a huge impact, and we are very, like I said, humbled to be part of this and to be able to facilitate local organizations such as the one here in Durham that has actually created these events around the world. So going back quickly to that original focus of NumFOCUS, excuse the pun there, the projects, supporting the projects was kind of half of what we wanted to do. And that, again, is supported through fiscal sponsorship, through small grants that NumFOCUS is to be able to give, through domain and trademark ownership. It's really important that there is not an individual that owns the domains and trademarks for the projects. And also through sustainability efforts. We're launching a large sustainability effort that we have through a Sloan grant that we were granted, and we are very excited to be able to launch that next year. That'll initially support our fiscally sponsored projects, but then hopefully be able to be extended to all open source projects. So the other half of this is the community support, and that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing today through PyData, through other workshops and events. Many of these much of the support of the community is through our educational programs. So the conference and workshops, our John Hunter Technical Fellowship, and diversity initiatives. We have quite a few diversity initiatives. Please go to our website and learn more about those. We have a diversity and scientific computing mailing list that we invite you all to join and be able to use that for communication. And last but not least, please go to numfocus.org. Check out our membership. We have free community membership. Anyone can join. Receive our newsletter, get project updates on what's going on with the community, with PyData, and we also invite you to check out our supporting membership, which you may do so at any level, and everything is appreciated. So hopefully you have a little better understanding of what we do, and we invite you to be a part of it. Thank you.